Welcome back to another episode of Growing with Lalascrops. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you guys a question that you had for me, which was, how can I keep the pests off of my collard green plants? I will be giving you some tips in this video to help prevent some of those pests. I have not prevented them 100%, you guys, but I will show you what I do to help eliminate majority of those pests that like to eat the leaves. So if this is something that you're interested in watching, stay tuned. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button and also that bell notification so that you get notified once I post a new video. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, you guys. Thank you for all your support as always. And also, you guys, don't forget to check out my Instagram account at Lalascrops, where I like to post daily garden inspiration. Let me first address what type of variety I'm growing. I'm growing Georgia Southern Collard greens, and if you are interested, purchase some seeds. I will place the link down in my description box. So this year, you guys, it's been a rocky start to be honest. I don't want anyone to think that I don't have any pests on my collard greens or with my collard greens, because I do. But I am going to give you guys 3 tips on what I do to help keep healthy plants that will help in return prevent some of those harmful pests. But yeah, this year I had a rocky start because I had grub issues. I'm going to try to see if I have like a picture of a grub in my phone, where I was just really frustrated because when I went to go feed my plants, and I would pull back some of the soil just to work the fertilizer in, I would see grubs, you guys. And grubs, they eat organic matter, but they will also eat at your plant's roots. At first I was battling grubs, and I probably still am. It wasn't like a huge population in the soil, not that I know of, but I was frustrated because I found out that they eat at the roots, which is what supplies the nutrients to the plant. I was trying to figure out what should I what am I supposed to do about these grubs. So right now I'm going to go over different pests that can affect your collard green plant. Collard greens do not just experience pests above ground, they also experience pests below ground, you guys, such as grubs. Last year I grew my collard greens in this raised bed, which was my very first raised bed, and they did great. They grew 3 feet tall, and once they got to a certain size, I really did not experience any pest issues. So I was blessed to experience that. Okay, so you guys, so I went into my refrigerator to show you guys what type of pest control I'm using to control the grubs down in the soil. So I went to a local nursery, which is predatory nematodes. As you can see, it says safely controls soil dwelling insects, such as the grubs, you guys. So after doing extensive research, I was going back and forth between milky spore and nematodes, but I found out that in Florida you cannot purchase milky spore. So I had to opt in getting nematodes. But I was nervous at first because I was like, how the heck do I use this? Am I going to use it right? So you do have to keep it in the refrigerator because the nematodes do not like heat at all. So I'm going to place this back into my refrigerator. Oh, well, before I do that, you guys, it is suggested that if you only have like certain size garden, you don't have to use the whole sponge, you guys. You can cut it up and save the rest of the sponge for later use, but it is suggested to use it within a certain time frame. Soon I will be applying more nematodes down into the soil, but I wanted to show you what the sponge looked like. I can't take it out of the bag, you guys, but yeah, I just wanted to show you what the sponge looks like. So the sponge, it carries nematodes, beneficial nematodes, not the harmful nematodes that I experienced last year, but these are beneficial nematodes in this sponge. And all you do is place the sponge into a gallon of water and you just drench your soil. But it is suggested to do it in the evening time because, like I said, beneficial nematodes do not like sunlight, you guys. If they hit that sunlight, sometimes they could possibly die. So you want to try to keep all the beneficial nematodes to allow them to do their thing into the soil and, you know, kill those grubs down in the soil. So basically what the beneficial nematodes do is basically kill the grubs that are eating some of the plant roots down in the soil, you guys. So all right, so I'm placing that back in my brown bag, and I'm going to place it back into the refrigerator, but I'm going to keep the tag out. I'm not going to go into too much details about nematodes, beneficial nematodes. I will make a separate video for that, but I did want to show you guys what I was using for grubs in my garden. So I'm using the beneficial nematodes, and so the reason why I'm informing you guys about what I'm using to help control the grubs down into the soil is because there's pests, you know, below soil level and above soil level. So I wanted to address this with you guys. I was a little bit more attentive this year to how the collard greens are growing, so that I could come on here and help you guys achieve, you know, some healthy collard green plants. You may see the pests above ground, of course, but you also have to consider the pests that may be down into your soil. If your plants are stunts, like this plant right here, this plant has been stunt in growth, and you know, like I said, as I was fertilizing with a granular fertilizer, I noticed that I had grubs down in my soil. So that's the first tip, you guys. Check your soil and check your plants. If you feel like you have been growing a collard green plant for a while and it's still stuck in a certain phase, you guys, it could be due to grubs eating some of the plant roots. I'm not saying that that's the reason all the time, but I'm just giving you suggested ideas as to the reason why your collard green plant may not be growing as fast, or it's not producing as many leaves as you would hope for it to. It could be the possibility that, you know, the grubs down in the soil just eating some of your plant roots. So I want to show you guys the good and bad. On this side, two plants that are doing okay, especially this one, but this one is coming back around over here. And then these plants right here are really flourishing. They are really developing some thick stems, which I like. And over here, this is the one that's in stunt and growth, which is where I had, you know, the grub issues. I feel like these two plants in the front, I feel like I had grub issues. And that one back there, I don't feel like I maybe found 2 grubs. This one over here, I don't think I found any grubs, to be honest. But this one right here, it's really stunt in growth, and I really did take a beating with the above ground pests, which is what my second tip is about, you guys. Above ground pests. So this is what majority of you guys have been asking me, basically above ground pests, the cabbage loper. And how do I prevent the cabbage loper from tearing up my leaves, basically, you guys? So this year I decided to keep one plant, you know, allow some of the pests to, you know, eat some of the leaves, so that I can show you guys the difference and give you guys tips on what you should do to help prevent the above ground pest also. So yeah, this plant, as you can see, has holes in it, and that's due to the cabbage loper. The cabbage loper will have a good time with your leaves. As you can see, this one, like, I don't even know what happened with this leaf. Now, if you go over here to my good plant, you can tell that these are really doing well. Especially this one. This one, it looks nice and healthy, has a thick stem right here. You don't really see any pest issues. And I'm going to discuss soon how you can also achieve the same in your garden, you guys. So basically, you guys, the cabbage loper, it's like a green worm that eat the leaves. It's really 2 pests that you have to worry about, unlike other vegetables that you may grow in your garden. But yeah, so the cabbage loper, where you can find the cabbage loper is usually behind your leaves, you guys. That's where they like to hang out and just eat up your leaves. I can't find any at the moment. Yeah, I can't find any at the moment, you guys. So I mean, if I find one, while I'm doing the video, then I will definitely show you guys. In order to help keep the above ground pests off of your leaves, you guys, I have a couple tips that you can use to help with that. The first is, of course, if you would like to use a spray, I would suggest using 100% neem oil on your leaves. Now, I try to opt in not applying anything to my leaves because this is what we eat, you know. It's not something like watermelon, for instance, where, you know, your fruit is inside of something, you know, and then you could just go to town on the leaves. But if you feel like you are really having issues with pests, the above ground pests such as cabbage loper, I would suggest to use a neem oil that has 100% cold pressed, and that has the key component of azadirachtin in it. That is what is going to help control those chewing insects that like to get on your vegetables. My second tip to help prevent the above ground pests, you guys, is basically harvesting your leaves, you guys. The more often that you harvest your leaves, the less often that you will have to worry about pests lingering on your leaves, on the back of your leaves, and eventually getting holes and eating your leaves. I would suggest to, you know, harvest frequently. Once, you know, the leaves start to develop on your plant. So like you guys know, I still leave a certain amount on my plants so that it can know that, you know, keep on reproducing. For a cabbage loper, they develop in a cocoon. I'm trying to see if I can find one for you guys. Let's see. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find. Okay, here's one. So if you can see this cocoon right here, so they develop in a cocoon and then they hatch out, you guys. So I have kept this leaf on for too long, so I need to go in here and harvest some of these leaves, basically, because the longer you keep your leaves on there, the more that the pests can hatch out of the cocoon and come out and eat your leaves, you guys. So so that's basically my second tip. Harvest your leaves more often. So basically, the less leaves on your plant, the less pests are able to eat. And also, you know, I have had the question, well, how did I get my collard greens to get so tall? I will discuss that in another video, but for today I wanted to go over the question that I have really been receiving a lot, which is, how do I keep the pests off of my leaves? So like I said, to sum up this whole video, you want to make sure that you check the pests that may be affecting your plants down in below ground, you guys, that which is in the soil, such as like the grubs, which I mentioned in this video, and what I use to help prevent the grubs. And then of course, pests that are above ground, which majority of you may know are the cabbage loper, which is like a small green worm that, you know, likes to you know, hang out on the back of the leaves, and, you know, when it gets hungry, come in and, you know, have a feast. But I did show you guys how they develop. So I guess the moth may lay an egg, you guys, and then this cocoon, they're in the cocoon and then they hatch out. So I need to take this leaf off, and yeah, and then they come out, hatch, and, you know, start eating the leaves. So to help prevent that from happening, I would suggest to harvest your leaves more often, you guys, and that will help minimize the amount of pests that are eating your leaves, you guys. But if you do want to use some type of spray, I would suggest to use 100% cold pressed neem oil, you guys. So I hope these tips will help you in your garden. If you're growing collard greens, if you're growing in warmer climates, you guys, I live in Florida, so we're in spring right now, and, you know, it's getting warm. So I would suggest to water in the morning time, because that keeps your leaves a little firmer, as opposed to waiting until the evening time to water your plants. I've seen a difference in that growing this year. And, you know, of course, feeding your plants, you guys. Trying to keep these plants healthy is important. I've mentioned before, I made a video of what liquid fertilizer I use and what granular fertilizer I use. So I will provide links for those videos down in my description box, but it will also pop up in the right hand corner of this video If you guys are curious to see what I use on my plants, soon I will be making a video for you guys on how I achieve 3 feet tall collard greens with you guys. So in today's video, I just want to give you guys the foundation, which is the health of the plant. You want to make sure that the plants are healthy so that in return they will produce into some healthy, strong, tall collard green plants. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to do 4 things, you guys. Like this video, comments below, tell me what type of varieties you have grown in the past, what approach you guys have been using to grow collard greens, and eventually let me know if my techniques will help you in your garden, you guys. The 3rd thing is subscribe to my channel, you guys, and the 4th thing is hit that bell notification so that you get notified once I post a new video. And I will see you guys in my next video. As always, happy gardening. Peace.